Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for episode 2 of our This, That, the Other podcast. I'm joined with Harry and myself, Matt. Today we'll be mainly just talking about entertainment, pop culture, the fun stuff. As promised, we hinted at talking about the Aladdin trailer, which released, 2 weeks ago now? I think
it was a while ago at this point.
2-3 weeks ago now, so we're a bit late on that. Apologies. But yeah, so initial thoughts given the new trailer.
All in all, okay, first of all, the big thing was Genie, Will Smith's Genie.
Yep.
I think that actually looks pretty good.
Pretty good.
I think visually, I still think Will Smith looks a little weird as Genie just visually, but there's only so much you can do with live action anyway.
Yeah.
All in all, again, he's not going for the whole Robin Williams thing, he's going for his own Genie, and I think a Will Smith Genie could be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that'll be a lot of fun, and I think they grabbed a lot of the character or the same feel with the Genie in, I guess, kind of the smaller stuff, like say when they're zipping from one place to another and you just see like a line of smoke in the sand,
Yeah.
you know, just instantaneous, or he summons a prince out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, sure. So I think Genie, they've definitely just about nailed, and I think that'll be pretty good. Your thoughts?
Yeah. We'll definitely showed a lot more of the Genie because the first little teaser of it only showed, it was like 2-3 seconds of the Genie, and then just from there everyone's like, what the fuck, he looks shit, this, that, the other, but now
he
they
became a meme.
Yeah, oh god, he
bless
became a meme. Yeah, massive meme. But then they released the, what was it, 2.5 minute, nearly 3 minute trailer or something, and showed a lot more of the Genie, which reassured a lot of people. But yeah, as you said, it's not Robin Williams. That's what I think a lot of people were kind of thinking, like, because they've more or less grown up with the Robin Williams adaptation of the Genie, that's what they're going for. But then, unfortunately, he's not here to to do that. So Will Smith, you got something? Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure if Robin. So say the poor man was still here. I don't know if he would have done it anyway for the live action one.
Yeah,
it would have been interesting, but I don't think.
Yeah, I think maybe he may have contributed more, like executive producer and whatnot, because he would have had a heavy part in that when the first one, the animated one. So I'd say he would have had executive producer or someone to guide where the live action one would go. But yeah, I think Will Smith, as you said, is not Robin Williams. The look is definitely pretty cool because, as you said, there's only so much you can do for a live action one. I think he looks pretty good. His human form does look a little off.
Yeah.
But I suppose from a massive hulking Genie to a human, I suppose there has to be some compromise, some different.
That's also a thing, because I don't remember too much about the original, but just seeing Genie, Will Smith, going from, the blue guy to even smaller blue guy, and then suddenly he's just Will Smith in a fancy costume, was kind of weird. I was thinking maybe they'd try more blue, but thinking about how much it must cost to make him look like that and everything that goes into it, it's probably fair enough.
Yeah, and it does, without being racist, it does kind of look a bit odd, just given Will Smith's ethnicity compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is, again, not trying to be racist here, but of Indian.
Yeah,
kind of
Middle Eastern
kind of thing. And then there's Will Smith, who's African American, does stand out a little bit. But of course, nothing can be done with that. That's not a criticism or anything, but just the human form kind of looks a little out of place with everyone else.
I will say, again, it's another thing with trailers, if a trailer is done right, you will only see like the tip of the iceberg, that is the movie.
Yeah.
And so I was actually just thinking about it, because just thinking about some of the musicals they'll have to pull off, and like they hinted at a few of them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking with those ones, maybe he will appear more in his Genie form there, because when they've got that big kind of spectacle, that's probably where they'll put in a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And possibly bring him in just zipping around, doing this, that, and the other.
The first one would be Never Had a Friend Like Me, because that's when the Genie's showing off his abilities and everything, and then Prince Ali with that massive scene where he's now the prince and
comes in. Oh, is that the one where he walks
into the palace? Yeah, that would.
God, that's gonna be crazy.
That's gonna be huge.
Just like the amount they're gonna need to pull in for that's good.
Oh yeah, with extras, the animals and everything. Whereas songs like A Whole New World, not as demanding because it's just Ali and Jasmine on the carpet.
Yeah.
While still with the fine carpet and everything, but wouldn't be as costly or huge as the other big spectacle kind of ones.
More or less, they can literally just put someone on top of a mat on a green box and then just edit everything
Exactly,
around.
they could do that, yeah.
Oh god, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, another nice thing I guess about Will Smith as the genie is the fact that he is actually a good singer.
Yeah,
And is in my opinion, a pretty decent musician, and so I think that's also a good thing that they have him for the songs. Like you heard him sing for Never Had a Friend Like Me, and I was like, again, it's different. It's not what we grew up with, but I think it ought to be good.
Yeah, I think it's trying to appeal to a new generation.
Yeah.
Which is good. There was a thing in, I found out recently, that in Walt Disney's will, it had a clause that all Disney movies be remade every 10 years so that each generation can experience them.
Oh shit!
Which I thought that was absolutely beautiful. But yes, I know they're trying to appeal to every generation because he wanted every generation to experience the magic, which is Disney, and I completely agree. But now that the merger has kind of happened with Fox and Disney now, is it going to allow time? Like, I know it's every 10 years, but now that Disney owns a metric fuck ton of shit now, it's basically one of the biggest monopolies of pop culture media.
I was talking to a friend a while back, actually, when the Fox merger was on the table, whether or not Disney will get legally done for being a monopoly, because at this point they control so fucking much.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, with that whole 10 years thing, so when was the original Aladdin made?
I can't say. But I think.
But wait, when you say a new Disney movie, do you mean just a new one has to be made every 10 years?
I'm not sure. I think he wanted it to be remade, but I suppose in this case it doesn't necessarily need to be remade. It can just be redone into the 4K format.
Yeah,
like
true.
for the 4K Ultra disc or whatever, because the new generation. Well, DVDs, as I love DVDs to no end, but they are a dying thing with streaming. Netflix, Apple's new announcement of their own streaming service. They've got Amazon Stan.
Okay, dude, everyone has a streaming service at this point.
It's ridiculous, but the next 2 decades or so, DVDs will be as rare as finding a cassette.
That's scary.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because I love DVDs. Like, I've got a massive collection at home, and I know people who have got metric fuck tons of them, and I never want them to go. But with the way of streaming and seamless entertainment through video game consoles, where they go straight from gaming to streaming to Twitch uploads and whatnot.
It's all a case of you bringing everything to your fingertips at this point.
Exactly, yeah. The seamlessness of it all.
Actually brings up, did you hear of Google Stadia?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think it was Stadia.
No, I think it's Stadia.
Stadia,
yeah. Well, it's STADIA.
Yeah, they're the gaming service, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should have. I think it's a good idea. I think definitely doable, but I think they brought it out too early. I think if they had released this, maybe in a decade, when the world has really good internet, when the whole world has good enough internet, because what they're trying to do is.
It's not going to work in Australia.
Yeah, no, the internet quality in Australia is shocking, but they're wanting 4K 60 frames per second seamless to stream video games anywhere.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because theoretically I think it's brilliant.
Oh yeah, you go from TV to tablet to phone.
Well, that's the thing,
an Apple Watch probably at some point.
Exactly. Well, it's meant to work for any kind of Google device.
Yeah.
So, like a TV, say a Google Pixel, anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it automatically means you don't need to keep upgrading your console.
Yeah, which is a smart move, but then it's going to put fucking Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo a bit...
Well, that's a scary thing, because...
out of business there.
Yeah. Not quite though, because again, it's a beautiful project. I remember, again, I'm not like a massive gamer, so I don't know specifics, but I remember looking at the stats. They at least double anything like the latest Xbox can put out. That's what they're promising with this, and so that kind of thing. Anywhere you want it, instant access to the games. It's brilliant, but
as long
actually,
as you have the internet connection.
Yeah, it's also a case of, I'd say right now, I think like Microsoft and Sony, like everyone else, would try to compete with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's a case of right now, Google's kind of the only people that can do it, just because the whole thing is cloud-based, and they're the only ones with the servers big enough for it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think the real kick in the ass will be internet connection and speeds.
Yeah.
Because by that point, that's the only thing on part of the user, and even then we can't control it. Because I mean, like, quite frankly, Australian internet is dog shit.
Yeah, like the NBN promised so much, and then they delivered. Everyone's like,
well, again, that was a case of they didn't go far enough. Because if I remember correctly, that was fiber to the node, not fiber to the home. So basically, again, like, you do have fiber optic cabling going straight to your street.
Yeah.
But then you also have to go on the old frayed copper cables to your house.
Yeah,
and so
it's
all the traffic going there that just fucks you up. So you just have no chance there.
So that's why, whilst it's a really good idea, they brought it out too early, because in America, I'm sure this would be fucking awesome, because their internet is ridiculously superior to us, even despite the fact that Australia is the main source of, like, we, to an extent, invented Wi-Fi. Australia did.
We did.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think that's the thing. Yeah, like Australian scientists invented Wi-Fi. Something. Australia's one claim to fame, other than the rotating washing line. Anyway.
Yeah. And yet it's the shittest in the world. For certain people who don't have it in the world, obviously, but yeah.
For such a country that is so deeply rooted in Western culture, and in my opinion, pretty close to America, it's pretty sad internet. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But again, what do we as Australians, what do we need that high-speed internet for, aside from gaming? Stadia, yeah, of course, yeah. But like, aside from gaming and obviously scientists and...
I would say streaming, for one.
Streaming, yeah, but...
Australians watch a lot of TV, man.
Oh, yeah. That's why we are one of the most of these, like... country in the world.
In my opinion, we're following America and some of those trends, but
unfortunately,
that's another thing.
Yeah.
I know. All in all, with the whole fast Wi-Fi, personally, I want it just so that the internet at my home doesn't crash once or twice daily.
I don't even have internet at my home.
Well, there you fucking go.
I don't have Wi-Fi. I just have data on my phone.
So, that's a reason to have it.
Exactly, yeah.
But ultimately, it does still come down to the point of where, like, when you do have it pretty well, like some people do, I think it kind of comes to the point of people always want more. It's like people with a V8 engine when they don't need it. It's cool, and I can understand why they want that, and they can have fun with that, but why do you need it?
Exactly.
It's like the same thing with
we're a greedy fucking race. We're always going to want more. That's why whenever the new iPhone is announced, everyone fucking jizzes in their pants, despite the fact that they've only redone 2, 3, maybe 5 at the most features to it.
Oh, I say good on them. Good on them. It's clever marketing. I don't.
I
an
know.
iPhone, so
I know. But
it.
like, just because we're so greedy, we always want the next best thing. So when the iPhone does come out, it's like, oh my god, it's the next thing. Even though 5 new features, if that, like the camera's improved, the memory.
They always do little things.
Yeah, exactly. It's not revolutionary. Like the fact the jump from button phones to smartphone, that is a big jump.
Crazy,
that's a revolutionary thing that a lot of people would want to have.
Yeah, I'd say maybe one of the next things might be bendable phones, but look, they're really trying to push that.
What was that? Samsung that announced that?
Samsung.
Yeah, but of course every other fucking phone company is going to want to try and do that.
Well, of course, whenever in these days with any kind of market, the second you release some kind of good idea, there are going to be a million counterparts trying to jump at the bit to overtake you.
Oh yeah, it's like Flappy Bird. When that came out, the ridiculous amounts of variations. Flappy Bird, Angry Birds, even the variations.
Well, you look at most any phone games that become popular.
There's so many variation rip-offs.
Although,
just the mobile versions of the big AAA games, like the mobile Call of Duty.
Yeah, true. Isn't there a mobile PUBG as well? That kind of stuff?
There is, yeah. I think that was actually made by the people who do PUBG, but I think. I'm not entirely sure about that one. But still, PUBG on a phone, you struggle to get it running on a fucking PC with internet.
Pretty much. What was I say? Kind of rewinding a bit. I think that speaks more kind of on the greed part, in my opinion, more to Western culture. Just because it is a consumer culture at this point. Because, we are brought up saying, oh, you want this, you need to have this.
Yeah, your life will be incomplete or whatever if you don't have this, that, the other.
And so it's kind of a constant thing, I think, there of we're always going for that next step, and so we become greedier and want more. In Western culture, in my opinion, we're all subliminally told to conform, go to the classic day job, or yada yada, 9 to 5, everyone do the same thing to work towards a bigger society, but then we also feel like we're working towards us. We want the best thing for ourselves as an individual. And so we buy that hat we want, we buy that new iPhone, we buy the Coca-Cola when we know we probably shouldn't have it. And we just keep on going for it. We want more Wi-Fi, we want a stronger car, all that kind of stuff, really.
Yeah, and that's why in 200-300 years or so we'll be up there, because we're going to want more, and this planet is not going to be able to provide more. It's just it's going to die.
Well, I think
it practically, to an extent, kind of already is, but that's a deeper conversation for another time later. But yeah, we're just going to want more. We're going to probably go into space, find another planet, colonize it, destroy it after 1,000 or so years.
Human expansion.
Years. Exactly.
Again, we're trying for it, and it's only a matter of how far. I think that comes to a point of how quickly we screw ourselves over and how quickly our technology develops.
Technology will increase rapidly, like it always does.
Well, you look at it, because have you ever heard of Kurzgesagt?
No.
Basically on YouTube, they're kind of like an infographic channel that does everything from black holes for dummies, quantum mechanics, and then stuff like what is consciousness. Ooh. And they do everything around that.
After I give that a look, that sounds actually pretty
honestly,
cool.
one of my favorites.
That sounds pretty cool.
But one of the things, what was it? I'm trying to remember the point I was trying to make for a second there.
It was planetary expansion, wasn't it? Space expansion, human expansion.
Well, that's one, for instance, they've been looking at a lot.
Yeah. Technological advancements, how fast we're going to screw ourselves up, I think you brought up.
Oh, that was right. Because basically it was a fun little thing. They released their own calendar, where basically, how the year now is 2019? I can't remember, it was either 1 or 2 they added to that, and that 2019. Because what they did was they looked at the full of human civilization. Because if you go back, because everyone thinks back to a point where, I don't know, say the Romans or stuff like that, they think pretty far back.
Yeah.
But that goes back just over 2,000, that goes back maybe 4,000 years. The way they've looked at this is they started it from the earliest points in where we can find advanced life for humans.
Yeah.
So when we first discovered fire and stuff like that. And
which seems very primitive now, but at the time it was revolutionary.
But more so, and again, I don't really care about that, but the biggest thing that was kind of eye-opening to it was you look at the advancement of technology in that, and it's like over like 3/4 of that thing, like only the past 4,000 years or so that we realized technology has advanced, civilization has begun.
Yeah.
And so it's only then, and then like you come all the way forward and you get to the Industrial Revolution, and you go back a decade ago and smartphones weren't a thing.
Yes.
Oh wait, sorry, not
just
a decade.
Just a bit over a decade, yeah.
Again,
I know.
I was born in 2000. I keep.
Christ,
I can't believe it's time.
Like when someone says 30 years ago, I think 1970.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, that's the thing. That kind of time frame, 80s, 90s, that kind of thing. Smartphones weren't really a thing.
Yeah.
And so just the fact that we've come so far since then, and so
such a little time.
yeah, and so technology is rapidly expanding that eventually we're going to be able to do really big shit. And
really stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like with every advancement that we can make in science and communication, everything,
we can make an advancement in war.
Exactly, weaponry. We are the only species to exist that has the capability to wipe ourselves out. Which, for every good we do, we have that at our disposal. We're the only species who can wipe ourselves out.
There's good and bad too.
In what? A couple of hours in an afternoon, we could pretty much wipe out most of our population.
Well, if you get America and Russia to finally go at it, and I don't know, there you go, there's nuclear winter.
Exactly.
I think that'd fuck us up pretty fucking well.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, in the span of from 12 till 5 p.m., that 5 hours, we could wipe out our own.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Even then, just going into other facts on how we affect the climate and stuff, that we fuck with the planet a lot, and we fuck with each other a lot, literal and metaphorical.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. We do, as a species, we do a lot of right, but we also do a lot of wrong, and it's just kind of learning what we need to do.
In 1964, I think, don't quote me on that, we tried to ignite the atmosphere.
I think I remember hearing about that, yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck? We tried to ignite the atmosphere in the 60s.
Come on, dude, it's a fun science project, why not?
Oh, Jesus. This is after a world war. You know what would be fun? Let's see if we can ignite this shit. See what happens.
Flame on.
And then, a couple of years later, we then end up going to the moon.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also a case of, I guess maybe you'd call it morbid curiosity. In my opinion, just looking at this kind of side of it, people in general have, this is going to sound weird, they have a curiosity in death, in that
definitely.
They think, alright, and again, I see it kind of in horror movies or thrill rides, people feel alive when they're almost dead.
Yeah, it's
people are excited by the devil, and then when they're scared of him, they run back to God.
Yeah, that's
don't
why...
hate me for saying that.
Oh, this is our opinions. If you disagree, you're more than welcome to, but just know this is for... We enjoy talking about this stuff. There's others who are there who enjoy listening to this stuff. Again, this is our opinions. You're more than welcome to disagree, but please keep the hate to yourself because, well, at least we're getting our opinions out there, even if you don't like them. Well, that's free speech and everything, so, yeah.
But anyway, well, that is the thing. I think that definitely, again, it's more so a case of just we do look to the darker side of things until we get too scared and then we run back.
Exactly, that's why when World War II ended and everyone realized that Hitler was experimenting on humans, we're like, no, this is bad, we shouldn't do this. And yet, secretly, we are still doing it.
Exactly,
Human-animal hybrids.
Yeah, true. I've heard about those.
We still do it, and because that's neither a human or an animal, under the Geneva Convention, that thing has no rights.
Yeah.
So we can harvest it, regrow it, torture it.
Do whatever you want to.
Exactly, because there's no rights to it. It's a new species, new creation, neither animal nor human.
Was this like wasn't this like a pig-human hybrid?
Yeah, human hybrid pig. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Again, that is more so. I think it comes down personally with that kind of thing, to individual empathy.
Yeah.
I think it's also a case of, I'm not gonna go big into this, but how people see things. You know, when like in movies you see the villain Thanos going, for the greater good I will do evil, that kind of thing, when ultimately it can just be evil. Cruelty
is a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
Like trying to keep a dog alive after it's been hit and is critically wounded, as opposed to just putting it down there and then. Obviously you're going to have different views and whatnot.
Yeah, that also speaks to kind of euthanasia as well.
Exactly.
That was a big thing we looked at in religion at school.
As cruel as it is, I would rather put the dog down than try to make it travel in its condition to a place where has a 50-50 chance of living anyway. Why?
It's a case of how long do you want to...
It's not
Do you
prolonged.
want to make... Because, yeah, it's a case of people look at it like, we're going to save it. Are you saving it, or are you making it suffer?
Yeah, because if the nearest hospital from where you are is 150 kilometers away, do you really want to try and get it there? And on the off chance that it actually lives, it's going to be, to an extent, in pain for the rest of its life, as opposed to just putting it down there and then it would be merciful more to an extent.
Yeah.
But exactly, it's everyone's perspective, everyone's morality and their moral compass and whatnot.
Just quickly noting, didn't we start this off saying we were going on entertainment and pop culture?
Yeah. Well,
oh, what a sidetrack.
Oh, huge fucking sidetrack.
What was I gonna say? I think that's actually coming pretty close. What were we gonna touch on?
Just
so, not Endgame, but because we touched on Aladdin.
The point you brought, we came up before the Disney Fox merger.
Oh yeah, oh boy.
Oh.
That's interesting. Again, I brought this up with you before, and I'll just say it to everyone listening. I was talking to a friend a while ago, and he did know, and surely this has to come up at some point, the legality of it all. Surely Disney can be done in for being monopoly. They control too much at this point.
Yeah, but what classifies as too much?
Okay, the movie industry. When they're big enough to... Because it is actually a percentage, I think. When you, own a percentage of something or other. So say Disney puts out so many movies and gets in so much revenue, and that starts to diminish, independence.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're saying independence as in, other big-time studios.
Yeah,
just trying to
so
compete
Warner
with us.
Brothers, Paramount...
Warner Brothers, Paramount...
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they've got no chance in. And so, I feel like Disney, at some point, they have to be caught out. But for now, whatever. I do like Marvel movies, and I want to see the Fantastic Four and X-Men, so fuck it.
Yeah, I don't like how... Because Disney is a family-orientated, or to an extent, family-orientated franchise.
They have a code to them. They try to be PG.
Yeah, exactly. So how does that come into play with Simpsons? Yes, I know Simpsons is PG for the most part, but has very frequently crossed over to the M rating for sexual innuendos, political stuff, whatever the hell.
The Simpsons.
Yeah, Simpsons. Everyone knows The Simpsons. Everyone knows what it's about, whatnot. Alien and Predator.
Oof. Yeah, good
Very hyper-violent, scary. Yes, the last couple of Alien and Predator movies weren't the best, but considering they may be the last things we actually get that are true to the nature of a horror movie, a very hyper-violent thing, they might be best.
Yeah.
What else? Avatar as well.
Which one? Are you talking
The,
giant blue people?
Yeah, the
or?
James Cameron one.
When will the sequel come out? Good luck.
I think next year.
Bullshit.
They've already filmed both movies. I believe. I think. I'm not sure. I may have read that somewhere, but I think they've filmed
Personally,
both.
I'm just skeptical. I'd say that.
To this day, it is still the highest grossing movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
that's first, and then Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War came pretty fucking close.
Yeah, but Avatar still to this day is the highest grossing movie ever.
Just on a side note, do you think Endgame will overtake it by any chance? Yeah.
With the ending of Infinity War, everyone gone. Yeah. They released a thing on how Infinity War was originally going to end. It was literally going to end with the snap, and then black, and then credits.
Oof.
They weren't going to show the dusting, more or less, of every character.
Oh, shit.
So that's how it was. That's how they kind of planned it on ending. It was just going to be, you should have gone for the head. Quick.
Yeah.
Thanos will return in the next one.
Okay, whilst that's good, I think that's good. That says good on Marvel. In fact, that that's kind of what people would first think. You know, Snap ends there, and you know that's decent.
Yeah.
But then going through like everyone dusting the Great Cataclysm, whatever they're talking about it.
Yeah.
That really pushes it.
Oh yeah.
The decimation.
Yeah. They Kevin Feige gave a name for the first 20 movies that have already come out from Iron Man 2.
The Infinity Saga.
The Infinity Saga, yeah. Which I think is a pretty cool title. The Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The runtime of Endgame was confirmed as 3 hours 2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. Hell yeah.
So I'm thinking if the dusting didn't happen in Endgame, in Infinity War, would that time be pushed to 2 hours 10-15 minutes? Just because that last scene in Infinity War is what, an extra 10 minutes after he snaps his fingers, where you see the dusting, you see the...
It probably feels longer than it is, just because of like the amount of weight it has to the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. But just kind of rewinding a bit, back with the merger.
Yeah, the acquisition, yeah.
I find that interesting. One, I do really want to see the Fantastic Four come into play, and I think we briefly touched on like casting, for instance, last time.
Yeah, last time, yeah.
Because I think there's a lot they can do with it, and I do still like the idea of John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, yada yada.
I think it was a rumor that they won't start implementing any Fox-acquired stuff until 2021.
That's fair.
Because they've got the next, I think it's 6 movies after Endgame lined up. Yeah, so which...
That's fair.
As, like, statistically from the last couple of years, it would be 3 per year. So 3 in 2020, 3 in 2021, and then from there on they'd start planning.
Although... I don't know, I remember hearing somewhere that they're going to try and pull back for a little bit, like not release as much, so maybe 2 next year. But I don't know, maybe that means they put out 4 the next year or something.
Could do, but then they've got the Sony stuff as well. They've got Venom 2, which is confirmed and...
Okay, but that is Sony Studios themselves. So that's
in terms of superhero content,
yeah,
so what Marvel might lack next year or the year after, Sony can go in, because they've got Morbius, which is Spider-Man villain played by Jared Leto, which started production I think 2 weeks ago.
That's basically Vampire King though.
Yeah, Vampire King.
That'll be interesting.
They've got I think it's Kraven the Hunter. I believe that's coming.
Yes, I love Kraven.
There's that coming. There's Venom 2, which I mentioned with Woody Harrelson as Carnage.
Didn't they change that?
No, that's happening because at the very... You've seen Venom, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw the ending of it.
Yeah, so that's...
his name's Woody Harrelson, is it?
That's the actor, Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
He's... yeah. I hope like they make it an R. I really hope it's an R or MA here in Australia, but it was M here.
Speaking of R, and just quickly going on superhero movies in general, I guess, what do you think of Black Widow? Because I know they're going to have it be an R-rated movie. Did you hear about the main villain? Taskmaster.
Yes, I did hear that, and I also heard that Emma Watson was being eyed as a potential lead character.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that might be Natasha's either handler or someone she goes to the academy with and trains with, but Taskmaster kills.
I can see that. That's the thing. Personally, I feel like that is more likely to happen. I think... Okay, just quickly looking at Black Widow, I don't know a lot about her backstory, and I kind of like that, the kind of secrecy of it.
I think there's probably comics that go dive into it, but in terms of the cinematic versions, it's hinted a bit in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
With when Scarlet Witch gives everyone the visions or whatever.
Yeah, and she was doing the ballerina thing.
Yeah, the ballet, and then
it's made sterile. Oh no.
Yeah.
All in all, with that, okay. So one, I think it was Emma Watson. Yeah.
Yeah, Hermione Granger. For those who don't know.
Yeah.
She is.
I think all in all, I feel like she would be just like another Academy member, and I think that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's a friend or like, someone she goes to the academy with.
Yeah.
But then meets the grim end. Taskmaster, yeah.
Well, I think what would be interesting is I can see them doing something where like the handler, it's either a very old woman who is very stern and everything, or
that's also one thing. If it is a handler, just because the age
Yeah, that's
Emma Watson
also what I was thinking. That
quite
would look,
young compared to.
look a bit weird. Although actually, wait a second. Are they gonna? Yeah, surely they'll just have ScarJo just look younger.
That's who it is. Yeah. They try and make her look young like they did for.
Again, they did that for
Samuel Jackson and Clark Gregg, Phil Coulson. Yeah, they made him.
God, but okay, well, yeah, because that's the thing. Because it would look kind of weird then, maybe. Oh, well, if they make ScarJo look younger, I guess it wouldn't be too weird with Emma Watson.
She doesn't look old, anyway.
Yeah, true.
Of course, there is a bit of a difference when put side to side, obviously, but...
Wait, are you talking about ScarJo or...?
Emma Watson and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
When put side to side, obviously you can tell Scarlett Johansson's a bit older, but...
I think it's also a case of Scarlett Johansson, I'm just used to her playing Black Widow. She looks like... She has a sense of age to her, in my opinion. Yeah. I remember looking it up, like, the age of a few characters. I think she's somewhere between 35 and 39 in the MCU.
Oh, okay. In the MCU. Yeah.
God, in the comics, I think she was born in the 20s. Anyway, yes, think about how old the comics are, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Again, it's like the same thing for Daredevil, Iron Man, they're all born in the 20s.
Yeah.
Anyway. With this, so yeah, I feel like one thing
Iron Man's last movie, Endgame. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s last go as Iron Man.
Okay, just quickly I will say, he has said that he wants to continue being in there for like cameos and stuff.
Yeah, so if anything it would be for stuff like Spider-Man, where he's a supporting character or whatnot.
I still feel like with it that, because again, I have two predictions for characters in Endgame that I'll just quickly touch on. Iron Man.
There's no time limit for this one. This one can be an extended one. Yeah, this can be extended. That's okay.
Yeah, Iron Man, I feel like I don't think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna come back and he is gonna, because Pepper is pregnant, and I think he's gonna get that nice little happy.
Is she actually pregnant?
She's pregnant, yeah.
Is she? I thought it was his dream that he said.
No, if I remember correctly.
Oh, they actually confirmed.
I think they actually said something about it in the trailer or something. Either way, whether she is pregnant or not, I can see him finally coming back and having a kid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a nice end just for his character.
Yeah.
Because personally, it feels, again, there's such an investment in the character that it feels like too much to off him, and it also feels like with his kind of character.
But if they did off him, how devastating! Because I know when I saw Infinity War, when Thanos stabs him, the whole cinema went deadly quiet, and so many gasps were like, "No, RDJ!"
Well, that's true, but that's the thing. I think that was done well because, they put the fear of God into you.
Yeah.
Because they made you think that. But what I like about his character, especially the MCU one, is that they've given him a redemption arc. Because, you look at where he started out, and he started out as, a weapons manufacturer. He was egotistical. That lasted all the way into number 2 even.
What's the... Playboy billionaire philanthropist. Yeah, that's exactly what he calls himself. Yeah,
exactly. And so that kind of arrogance. But then you look at him and say, Infinity War, he's constantly doing the better thing. He's trying to protect people. And
he
that
still
kind of stuff.
Does have a big head though,
especially
when
that's his character.
His interacting with Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah,
because both of them have big heads and the collisions between them. Oh, it's amazing to see it on screen the way it's played.
But I guess more so what I mean.
And also both have played Sherlock as well, so which is pretty cool.
That's nice. Well, quickly note, I really want to see the awesome facial hair bros kind of high five they do in the comics. I need to see that at some point. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just feel like with his character, it's kind of like with Loki. I think, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I think it's good he's dead. I will say that now because he had a good character arc.
Yep.
He redeemed himself.
He had a poster released this morning.
Keep in mind, was he black and white on the poster?
Maybe. Yeah, I think it was.
All the black and white ones are the ones that are dead.
Dead, yeah.
Plus, also, he is having his Disney Plus series as well.
Yeah, which is going to be narrated by Tom Hiddleston, but younger Loki is going to be played by someone else. I'm not too sure who it is.
Fair.
given we're on the topic of Avengers, the last trailer that just dropped out of nowhere, I might add, there was no speculation as to when it was coming or anything. It just like
I was
boom.
so hyped for that because I was just like, I go on Instagram way too much, but I was just randomly scrolling on it at what must have been like, you know, really late at night when they released it, and I just remember, and of course I follow them on Instagram, and so my feed refreshed and it was like, new trailer, and it wouldn't load for me. I looked at the comments, people were pissed because it wouldn't load, I think, for anyone in Australia or something like that. And so instantly I thought, oh shit, is my internet gone or something? I was going crazy on YouTube trying to find it, and then it took, because I saw it literally when they posted it, and so I think it took me 3 minutes later, I saw it and I went ape shit, man.
I saw it, I think, 9 minutes after it came out, because I was watching another video on YouTube, and then because I get the people I've subscribed to, I've got the notifications thing on, so it comes up in my notifications that a new video. Swipe down and it's on Marvel Avengers Endgame trailer. I'm like, wait, what?
Hold up.
There was nothing about this. It's just kind of like, boom. What I don't like, though, is that they show Tony Stark in his new suit, which implies, obviously, he survives from the spaceship. That is his, that's his end.
Yeah.
Food and water ran out days ago, oxygen tomorrow, this, that, the other.
Okay, I will just say...
I did find that a bit annoying.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to type loose ends. Just quick backtrack. So Tony Stark, I think it would be best if he has kind of ending. He has a nice ending, and then of course you can kind of parallel the comics where he has a hologram version of himself helping others. Yada yada. That's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Wait.
What?
The mask, the helmet that he is speaking into in the first trailer.
Oh yeah.
That. Because his last suit that he is seen wearing is his microbot nanotech. That's it. Yeah. So
based after the Bleeding Edge or whatever.
Yeah, the Bleeding Edge one. That one isn't it. That's a separate helmet. So unless he goes in his.
Are you sure? It looked like the same thing. It had the kind of detailing on it like it was nanotech.
Maybe.
Because the big thing with that, and again, people looked at it. Say when he was on Titan, you looked, he had no shirt under his hoodie. That's because the stuff he was wearing was all nanotech.
Yeah.
And so quite frankly, I think he still would have had plenty enough to create the helmet at least, as damaged as it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Either way, whatever happens. I just want to finally get this out of it. Steve Rogers, and I'll just send after this. I think he will die so that he can have his last dance with Peggy. Think about the Avengers Age of Ultron scene where he's in that place, he asks for his last dance.
Stop tugging at my heartstrings, man. Oh.
And then he gets there, innit?
Oh no.
He does. Me and my friend were talking about this. He brought this up. This was Braden.
Yeah. God damn it.
He
haven't even met him. He's already like making me cry.
And it's so good, right? Like that would be so brilliant.
Yeah, because in the trailer you see he's got the watch and he's looking. Because he looks at that when he thinks he's gonna die.
Yeah. He looks at it when he thinks he's gonna die. When he's thinking of Peggy, and so he's gonna get his final dance with Peggy and be with her. Dude.
You've seen Punisher, right?
Yes, of course.
So there's the scene in the first season when he's on the brink of death. He sees his wife.
Yeah.
And she asks him to come home. I think it might be similar to that with Peggy.
Pretty much,
but of course, Frank says, I am home, and he doesn't go with him, and he survives and kicks ass like he does John Bernthal style.
You look at the whole thing, because again, that's the thing. I think a parallel you could bring up in the trailers almost is that Tony Stark, he looked like he was on the brink of death, and then they brought him back in the second trailer. With Captain America, and this is just off the top of my head, in the first one, he looked fine. He was a sad little puppy, but he was fine on Earth. Whereas in the second trailer, you see him like tightening his shield. He is as gritty and dirty as he's ever looked in any movie.
Yeah, which means that he finally gets to interact with Tony after, because there's no interactions in Infinity War. They don't see each other. The last time they see each other was Civil War, which is what, like a year difference.
I think more than a year.
A year or so difference.
It's a big difference between them.
The Russo brothers did confirm that they have used fake footage for the trailers. They have confirmed that, so we don't technically know what is fake and what is real. I know some of it would be real, like the suit thing would all be real.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Case in point, you look at the first trailer they released. They did the exact same walk through the Avengers hangar, and they looked nothing like it. Yeah,
exactly. So there is some of it is fake, so don't expect.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people are going to be mad about when they see the see the actual final thing,
and
be
not
like,
see the things
that's not in that was in the trailer. It's not in the movie.
Well, that was the same thing with Infinity War. Like,
exactly.
You always have to take these trailers with a grain of salt because, and they've been doing it for years.
Oh yeah.
They edit so much. Case in point, you look at Infinity War. The second, I think in the trailer, he put on like the Power Stone or something. It was something like that, and I remember looking at that, and it showed him like touch her on, and I just went, no, he's got like 2 or 3 others on in that scene. They've just edited it. I know they have, and they did.
Oh, the scene
they
where,
did exactly
where Captain America was holding the shield as well. That scene in the trailer, he doesn't have stones.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas in
they edited so much, and they're doing the same with this. We
Captain America should have died in that scene. That is his fist.
When he got punched out.
That is his fist. Is like huge, and
Thanos is huge.
Exactly, and he's like less than a meter distance above him, full force straight to the head.
Okay, I think that says 2 things. Either A, that speaks to Captain America's character in that he's meant to be the peak of human physicality.
What annoys me most is the next time you see him after that hit, he is holding his side. Come on, you've just had a truck in your head.
Yeah.
You really think you're going to be holding your side after that? Come on.
Yeah, well that is the theory that when he did the Time Stone to bring back Vision, he brought back Cap when he would have subsequently killed him there.
Yeah, because you see Rhodey as well come out, and he was crumpled.
Something like that.
He's shooting missiles at him, and he gets crumpled, and also Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster unit, he puts him into the wall, and the wall like is molded around him.
Yeah.
Then next time you see him after everyone's been dusted, he's just walking out. Like, did you just bust out? I know it's capable of busting it out, but still. And War Machine's thing is like fully normal, not crumpled up or anything. But
so
as you said, the Time Stone thing. Have you seen the memes about Ant-Man going up Thanos' butt and expanding to kill Thanos?
Yeah, there's been a lot of that. I've seen a lot of response ones to that as well.
I've seen one picture and it's Ant-Man soaking in hot sauce, ready to go up.
Well, you know that meme of like where they show Tom from Tom and Jerry with that really like scared look on his face. Yeah. They do the same thing. You know,
I've seen so
when
many of those
Tony and Cap tell Ant-Man what he's got to do to save everybody, that kind of thing. You know.
Oh yeah.
What was I going to say? Backtracking a bit. So yeah, that's my theory on what will happen with Tony and what will happen with Steve. Yeah. Because I think that's how it'll go. I think those are both really good endings for their characters.
Yeah.
The Endgame trailer, we touched on it. We might as well go through it a bit. Oh yeah. Here's the thing. I wanted to say what I don't get with some people. I look past it a lot, and a lot of my friends do, because these are stories. They have a narrative. And so, like, you look at some people who go, oh my god, Tony's fine in the new trailer. Of course he's fine. He's going to be saved. We all fucking know it.
Yeah, like, it was Elon Musk. Iron Man 2, he literally says, Elon Musk, if you ever get stuck in space, give me a call. And of course, Elon answers the call. With fucking Stanley next to him, be like, Tony Stark!
Yeah. But ultimately, no, that is a case of like, you do need to take things with a grain of salt, and you do need to remember they're stories with a plot that can be predictable. You know he was going to come back, and stuff like that. Or
because even fucking Nebula's dressed up in her the new get-up.
Did you see the new pop vinyl of her? She's going to have like a gold edge to her face now.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like the left side of it, which you can't see in the trailers, is going to be, I think it's either yellow or gold. So new plating there, which looks interesting. It was on a Funko Pop vinyl, because they actually released a few of those. They look interesting.
So what if she gets badly wounded and that's nanobots filled in the thing?
That makes complete sense. I'd say Tiny probably did that for her.
Because they would have gotten close, because they were the only 2 people left on Titan, so they would have...
They'd have to get close. And you look at it, I think she was comforting him at some point in the first trailer as well. Something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, she puts her hand on his shoulder, because to her, she already knew Gamora's dead. She had, to an extent, come to accept that, and she didn't really have anyone aside from the Guardians that she ultimately cared about. So, whereas Tony had his Avengers and fucking half the population of Earth who adored him and whatnot, and obviously he would have loved them back and whatnot.
Just quickly going on that, with their relationship, I think that'll be interesting just because it'll be very strained at first. Tony's the kind of person, I feel like his character, in the movie, he'll be the kind of guy whilst grieving to try and push her away. Meanwhile, she is a very strained character herself that probably won't be as cooperative, but will grit her teeth to survive. And so I think they'll develop from there. Probably a good chance that's how the movie starts off as well, just their time on it.
Apparently, this is what I heard or read or somewhere or other, that Endgame is years after Infinity War.
They do a time jump from what I can see.
Yeah, which they're obviously telling everyone in the trailers to just move on. I think because I read a, I don't think it's called a prologue, I think epilogue before Endgame, so that's where it's mentioned that it's called the Decimation. But apparently the government in this world more or less says it was an experiment that's kind of gone wrong.
That's so fucked.
Well, they can't exactly say some big Homer Simpson looking alien snapped his fingers and dusted everyone.
Yeah.
So that they kind of played off as an experiment gone wrong, something along those lines, as the way the government kind of not hid it, because you can't exactly fucking hide that, but like contain it to an extent.
Two things. One, and just because, again, I want to talk with him, what I was trying to say is, I don't get help. Some people, they need to look past it. Biggest example, people go, oh, but they're dead. Like, how can they have more movies with these characters? Spider-Man's coming back. Doctor Strange is coming back. Everyone's coming back.
What annoyed me is, which I ranted to my friends as well before it even happened, was Sony and Marvel marketing. They marketed fucking Spider-Man Far From Home before the Endgame trailer came out.
Yeah.
Oh, that annoyed me so much. I knew that he was going to survive because obviously he had his confirmed movies, but still, they marketed Spider-Man and Nick Fury as well, who also gets dusted before the first trailer of Endgame.
Well, that's a case of, like, again, that's kind of more what I was saying. I felt nothing when I saw that, just because I didn't, for a lot of those deaths, I didn't feel too sad because, again, I'm looking at it from a storytelling perspective. They were never going to let them die.
Some of them are confirmed
would make
to be
sense,
dead.
Yeah. But a big thing, of course, in comics, golden rule, a character is never truly dead.
Unless it's a Tarantino film.
Yes. But in comics, in the Marvel comics and DC, dead. No one ever really truly dies.
You'll never be a god.
Shut up. That was a brilliant moment for Loki, for him to die there, because that was such a good end to his character.
Blood pissing out of his eyes, yes.
Come on, he had such a good redemption arc.
I knew he was gonna... I know people who absolutely were devastated by that, especially because I was reading before Infinity War came out that Thanos does something in the first 10-15 minutes to establish himself as being the big bad. Yeah. That's exactly what he does. He takes out Hulk, he kills Heimdall, and
he throws the Hulk around like a sock puppet.
He does what he does to fucking Loki. He does what the Hulk does to Loki and just go
at it. He does pretty much, yeah.
He just defeats Hulk, he kills Heimdall, and then chokes out Loki.
Yeah.
There's nothing more he could do to establish that. This guy's here. He's not fucking around. Either... Yeah, if you get in his way, you're fucked, more or less. So
it's a good introduction to his character. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? We were going on about Endgame before.
Yeah, Endgame.
Something about it.
Mohawk. Hawkeye.
Oh, the time skip in, yeah. Personally, I like that.
Yeah, I like
think
it too. It's for his Ronin persona, which...
Big fan of Ronin in the comic books.
Yep.
Known him for a while, and I was super hyped when I saw teasers of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's again, with the whole time skip thing, obviously, I think they'll have it in parts, because here's the thing. You know that they'll have a start to it just after it happened.
I think they'll have flashbacks as to how they went about going from
probably
after the snap to where they end up formulating their plan and whatnot. I don't like how they put Captain Marvel in the trailer so quickly after Captain Marvel came out, because for anyone who doesn't see Captain Marvel...
Sorry guys. She's in the end credits scene.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter if you haven't seen it. The fact that we're talking about the Endgame trailer, and I'm sure everyone who's listening, everyone who's seen the Endgame trailer knows she comes in and Thor's like, "Oh, I like this one." After he brings Stormbreaker and she doesn't flinch. So.
Oh my god, I love that moment.
Have you seen the Deadpool edited trailer?
I showed you that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you sent me that, and it's just Thor getting Wade
Deadpool,
getting smacked in the back.
Yeah, because
of
they
the
just
head.
get like video footage of him just saying, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Bang,
Bang, yeah.
Canada.
There was a theory of how they could bring Deadpool into Endgame. It would have been Deadpool runs in with the new suit that everyone's coming, and it's like, "Sorry guys, I'm late. That Fox and Disney merger took ages. I'm here. Where's Purple Homer?" And it's like, "God damn it, it's over. Fuck you, Disney, or fuck you Disney, or fuck you Fox, or whatever the fuck," and then leaves, which I thought that would be brilliant.
I think
but of
that
course
would be
it's a bit too late now.
Yeah, I think that'd be a decent like end credit scene. Which
Yeah,
is, like,
that would be pretty fun.
At the end, he does do exactly that. He runs on the scene and like, "Guys, where's the party?"
Yeah, sorry I'm late. The Disney Fox merger took ages. Which I think if they are going to do a post-credit scene, which I know they will because it's Marvel, it has to be something like that. It has to be a comedic thing. Because I can't see them teasing.
I want them to do two things actually, because I think they can do something fair, like just a regular one. Because
I know they'll do a tribute to Stan Lee.
Oh god, yeah. I'm waiting for that.
Like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
They'll probably do the same intro. For those of you who haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, hurry up. And also, at the beginning of every Marvel movie now, you've got a montage for the heroes, which then makes the Marvel logo. In Captain Marvel, it's all of Stan Lee's cameos.
Which was beautiful.
It honestly brought a tear to my eye. It's not a spoiler, but yeah. So I think they'll probably do that again for
I can see them doing that for Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home as well.
Yes, because that'll be Sony's thing for Stan Lee, because whilst it's not directly Marvel, it's not directly Sony either. It's a mash.
Yeah.
So I think they'll do that as well.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, back on the whole time skip thing. Kind of evidence to that, hair, honestly. You look at multiple parts in it. So you look at, say, Natasha. She starts off with her blonde bob cut.
Yep.
Then you go in a little further and she's got red braided hair with a kind of blonde dye at the end.
Longer when she's shooting at the range.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it keeps getting longer and redder. And then so you look at Clint, Hawkeye. He, at the start, because you know that scene where his daughter's firing an arrow, which he also has his ankle monitor on, just a quick note. He's under house arrest like Ant-Man.
Of course, from the Sokovia, for not wearing the Sokovia clips in Civil War,
But yeah, obviously at that moment, you can see like 10 seconds after she fires that arrow, she's going to get dusted.
You've seen, you know the series 13 Reasons Why?
Yeah, I know the first season.
Have you seen it?
I've seen the first season, yeah.
Okay, so you know,
oh yeah,
Catherine Langford.
The WA girl, she's going to be in it.
I have a feeling that's going to be Clint's daughter, but older.
Good chance,
with a time jump, because I can't see her being like that. She's the only person that I can think of that would be of some significance to the story.
Unless they bring in some completely new character.
Yeah,
but I doubt that. Oh, there's a good chance.
It's either going to be Hawkeye's daughter, or because Hawkeye's daughter is, given that bow and arrow thing, I'd say she'd be 12.
Yeah.
And given the time jump, I'd say that would be Quinn's daughter, or this is very unlikely, or it would be Ant-Man's daughter. But I don't think so, just because how young she was at the time of the dusting of Hank and Wasp at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, which again, if you haven't seen it,
watch it.
It doesn't matter. It came out
if you haven't
August
seen this stuff, why are you here?
It came out August last year.
Yeah.
It's like trying to not spoil the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. It's like, please, you've had 6 years now to bloody watch it. If you haven't, that's your problem.
I haven't. Don't go there. Anyway.
You haven't seen any of the Game of Thrones.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
But for people who do watching it or whatnot,
you give a shit about it.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the Red Wedding, well, come on. The last season's practically a month away. You have no excuse. But,
so with it, something I think could be interesting would actually be making... It's Catherine Langway, something like that. I think that's her
Catherine
name.
Langford.
Langford, there we go. Possibly Ant-Man's daughter, older, don't know how they'd fit that into Infinity War. Maybe doing another movie. I don't know.
I don't think so. Just because at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, when Hank and that get dusted, when Scott is in the quantum realm, which they need to explain that, by the way, because he's in that quantum realm. They get dusted. How is he going to get back?
Yeah.
I say there'd be a safety thing which he'd press and the tether would wheel him back in.
Yeah. Got a couple things, but also just quickly, just with Hawkeye, the thing there was, I think most of his family will be dusted, just because otherwise he looks really desperate as Ronin. And also to kind of further the whole time skip thing, you look at him when he takes the mask off as Ronin, he has short hair. In that pic of him with the mohawk, he has a really big mohawk.
No, I say that's because it's wet.
Yeah, you look at that thing, it's a fucking rooster's crest. There's only so much you can
also
flatten.
Natasha's got an umbrella, so it's raining, so I'd assume it's just wet. Well, again, you could be right. But
it feels shorter. Plus, you look at Natasha's hair and that as well, and it's still blonde.
Yeah, that's still blonde, yeah.
Nonetheless, there will be, like, kind of time jumps in that. I'm almost certain.
Yeah. One thing I'm curious about is, at the end of the first trailer where you see Scott Lang outside and he's like, yo, we met at the airport. Buzz me in. When he goes into that house, is that the same time that Captain Marvel comes in?
Yeah, that could be.
Because they're all in that house. They're all in that. It's the Avengers Square.
No, I don't think so. Yeah? I think he'll come in a lot later because they have Captain Marvel come in, and then you look at stuff when like they're reviewing the decimation or when Thor says, I like her. That kind of stuff. It doesn't look like he's around. I feel like he'll come back and that will be the spark that gets him onto a new mission. Yeah. Because I also feel like the suits they have are a combination of Hank Pym, like his technology, not him himself, and what Tony Stark comes up with.
Yeah. Have you seen the animated show Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
Yeah, I used to love it.
Yeah, so those suits are pretty similar to what they used to go to space. With the Kang invasion.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, they are very similar, if not to an extent identical.
True, very true.
So, and that's their space suits, so I think, what are we up to? Oh, who cares? I don't know. So I think it kind of plays to my theory that they're going to go back in time to the Battle of New York, go up through the wormhole into space, and kill Thanos there because he doesn't have the gauntlet yet.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Because there are set photos that were released that show Captain America in his suit from the Battle of New York.
Yeah.
And replicas of that battle, so that's...
Well, we know there is time travel, it just depends on how they're going to manipulate it.
I have a feeling that there's going to be a confrontation between Captain Marvel and the Avengers.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know to what extent.
I feel like it'll just be at the start there, she's pissed about Fury.
Exactly.
And so you have a small scuffle between Thor and her.
Yeah. But I don't think they'll see the full scale of her power because I don't think at this point even she knows to the extent.
At that point, she should.
At that point, of course, she should. But by the end of Captain Marvel, she is aware that she is very powerful and whatnot. But I don't think she knows to the absolute extent she can go.
Of course, and she's had a couple decades to train. 30 years. Wait, no, it was 1999.
Yeah, it was the 90s, and so now 2019, so it would be about
30 years.
About 20 years.
Okay, 20 years. Actually, yeah, exactly 20.
Yeah, so she would have had 20 years.
Yeah. I think with that, it will be a case of, like, she has a small scuffle with Thor, and possibly, I think it will be a case of, like, then she'll show them just what she can do, and they'll just step back, like, oh, damn.
Yeah. Bit of interference there.
Just quickly, I want to bring this up. With Ant-Man, I'm pretty sure he has the mobile laboratory with him. You look at him in a bit where he's looking at the wanted posters, and he's got a stick with him. You can see in some stills from, just like photos taken, there are CGI, like the little dots they put on.
Yeah.
Those are on them. He's got to have it with him,
Yeah. So that's where I'd say those suits come from, using that tech, and Bruce Banner would help refine it.
Yeah.
Because he's next to... Because I know Shuri is...
She's dead.
She's dead, so
probably.
Bruce Banner and Scott Lang are the next smartest people.
Quite frankly, just looking at
Well, Scott's
considering who's left alive, Bruce Banner would probably be the smartest person possibly on the planet at that point.
Yeah,
and then Scott Lang, he's not necessarily a genius, but he's a good engineer, so he can help work on.
Yeah, plus he's got experience with the quantum realm and whatnot, which he'll know more than anyone else. Yeah, exactly. So I'd say those two will collaborate. Surely there has to be some moments where Bruce Banner's trying to be serious and whatnot, and then Scott's just taking the piss.
Yeah,
because there's a scene, there's a still of everyone kind of holding a Infinity Stone or whatever, and then there's a picture of Scott with the cards coming out of his mouth for Man or Wasp, and I'm like, that's perfect. Or in the battle of the airport in Civil War, he's in the back of a van, being woken up. It's like, what's happening?
True.
So he's the comedic relief to an extent.
Yeah, he'll help in that. By the way, just quickly, do we want to kind of cut things off around here for now? We've been going on for a while.
Yeah, we should probably end this one. Did we get through everything we said we're going to get through?
I think just about.
So we got through the merger, Aladdin, Endgame.
And then some other stuff on society and shit that's
serious
randomly.
stuff, which who cares? It's just part of it.
We're doing a lot here, guys.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, let's
wrap it up there.
end it there.
We'll talk to you guys in the next podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Harry.
See you in a bit. Bye.
See you guys.